Kendra, thanks. A newly proposed gun bill is sparking controversy tonight. If passed, it will allow police to take a person's gun and ammunition if they pose a danger to themselves or the public. Now, some are arguing it's infringing on the Second Amendment, but others think it will cut down on gun violence.
And Fox Carolina's Kayla Conboy is on this story. She talked with people on both sides of this issue tonight. She's in the newsroom. So, Kayla, do they think that this will be easy to regulate?
Well, that's really been the core issue in this debate. Supporters believe it will save lives and just require a little extra training to recognize the signs, but others think it leaves too much room for abuse. Sirens blaring and lights flashing. Law enforcement officers race from scene to scene, never knowing what they'll show up to find. And every year there are more cases involving mental illness, shootings lawmakers believe could be avoided.
This particular bill that is introduced allows an individual to file a complaint, and it requires a judicial officer to do inquiry and make a determination whether probable cause exists to remove weapons from that individual that does pose a threat.
But they wouldn't be able to take the guns right away. First, officers would have to investigate before they could even get a warrant.
They must consider prior history. They must consider the types of threats that they're currently making and their conduct as it currently is happening.
Senator Carl Allen believes officers would need special mental health training to recognize the signs, but others say they don't see that being enough.
There's no way that'll happen. Now, if the person wants to voluntarily let them hold them till it's adjudicated or whatever, that's one thing. But just taking the person's guns away, I don't know of any law enforcement officer that would be qualified to say, based on my previous experience, this person is posing such a threat that we need to confiscate their guns. That sounds like something out of Germany before the Second World War.
Jim Brazil was a Greenville County deputy for decades before he became the general manager at Sharpshooters. He says the bill as a whole violates the Second Amendment.
It also takes away somebody's personal property that is being taken from someone who's not qualified to take it just because of a suspicion that they're acting in a different way.
I think we err on the side of saving lives as opposed to just saving the Second Amendment. Everyone must be able to live in society harmoniously without doing harm, hopefully to themselves or to others.
Now, they'd only be able to take the gun temporarily. If the bill does pass, a court hearing must be held within 7 days to decide whether or not the guns should be given back. They can be held by the state for up to a year. Diana?
So, Kayla, is this the first bill like this that we've seen?
It is. Right now, there's no way to separate someone in a crisis from a firearm under current law. So if this does pass, South Carolina will join a number of states that have extreme risk protection orders. Cody and Diana, back to you.
Kayla, thanks so much. Well, we made this the topic of tonight's Fox Fuss. We wanted to know what you had to say about this issue. We put up our article on Facebook, and here's what some of you responded.
Eric Skelton wrote in saying it's very slippery here. It's a very slippery slope and very likely to be ruled unconstitutional. As common sense as it may seem, it would be infringing on the constitutional right to bear arms.
And Gannon Tipton agrees, saying, quote, sounds like a good idea on paper, but too much room for abuse. I'm all for keeping weapons from those who pose a risk to the public, but probable cause isn't really a high bar.
Paul Titus wrote in, definitely should be seized from anyone who exhibits odd abusive behavior, as well as anyone involved in a domestic abuse incident. Let them prove they are responsible before returning them, end quote.
Remember, you can always share your thoughts with us on Facebook, on our Fox Fuss section of our website as well. And you can also email us anytime at the Fox Fuss at foxcarolina.com or find us on Facebook under Fox Carolina News. I am web live right now where you can see this is our homepage. If you scroll down about halfway down, you'll see this link right here to submit a Fox Fuss. Click on that, fill out the form, and pass along your comments.